Good morning. Another beautiful day here at Goat Hill. Welcome to all the hill climb fans, and we're fixing to start race 7. Last weekend we had Ragin' Ricky from Oregon Outcast Diecast show up, and this week we have 2 other new contestants. We're going to let them make 2 runs today, and that'll catch them up with being even with the second half of the season. At the end of racing, I'll explain how the seasons are going to be stacked and how the events will all run for the following season. There's also going to be provisions for people who do well in this season to guarantee a spot in season 2. After the last race, we have a 5-way tie for first place with Cactus Jack, Driver, Clutch, Mr. Mice, and VB Chief. So let's welcome our 2 new contestants. For Mayhem Racing, we have Mayhem Michelle. And for Up North Crackerjack, we have Mini Rigueur. Must be some kind of French name. Let's see how they stack up on the hill. These are their catch-up points for last race. They both have nice straight lines going up the hill. Oh, Michelle managed to put a good score down. Minnie's not too bad either. And Michelle is just hang time with that Toyota. That puts her up 8 points, and Minnie manages to get 6 out of that. Well, if you've been paying attention, you know what that means. Mayhem just took the lead. And because the cars are heated by who's in first place at the end of the last race, she races next again. So next up is Mayhem versus Alva Speedco, our number 1 car right now in the second half of the season. Let's see how this mess works out. Oh, Michelle blocks him. They don't call her Mayhem for no reason at all. She just blocks Alva on a good run and forces him to go right back down the hill again. Girl came here to win. That gives Mayhem Racing another 8 points, and Cactus Jack gets a 6 out of that, which is still not too shabby. Next, we've got Driver's Deviance taking on Dutch Clutch, the number 1 points holder so far for total season. Dutch Clutch is another vehicle that was nailed in. Oh, Driver does a flip. Can he? Nope. He can't hold it. Dutch, on the other hand, puts solid points on the board like he's just consistently doing. That's what's going to take you home. That's quite a flip Driver puts down. He just can't hold it. Would have given him 3 extra points. And Dutch just parks the buggy like he owns the hill. That gives Driver 5 points. And Clutch manages to pull the 2 bonus points off for being on your wheels and not rolling back down the hill for a total of 7. Our next 2 racers are Mr. Mice in Catastrophe and VB Chief with the greatest team there is. They're both up the hill nice. Does VB get a 7? Kinda looks like it. We'll know when we go to the hill camp. They do some rubbing, but no one seems to get an advantage. Both good runs, though. VB runs a nice line. The hole gets some nice air, bumps around on Mr. Mouse a little bit, and ends up putting it across the line for 7 plus 2. The only way to score extra points if you cross to 7 is to stay in the camera range. Hitting the hill next is Stallion Johnson and Dutch Clutch with the red and white buggy. These guys have put down good runs. Let's see if they can do it again. Between the drag strip. Stallion Johnson collecting those is crucial. Yep, Con-Man got up on that wall, and that just scrubs your speed right off. But both of them managed to pull 6 points off. Next in the house, we got Jester in the Black Cherokee versus Curdy in the well-armed Dune Buggy. Both look good coming up out of the hill, but neither one can hold it. Those Cherokees have a tough time. They seem to be a little too top-heavy. I guess Curtis just backing down there to check him, make sure Jester's all right. Jester gets some good airtime, though. That's going to give Jester 4 points and Mud Duck 6 points because he stayed on his wheels at least. And now we have Wolfgang Mueller and his buggy on the back versus Mini Rigueur from up north Crackerjack. Wolfgang's strategy last time almost paid off, except the buggy drug him right back down. Well, look at that. It seems Wolfgang's unorthodox experiment did well this time. That netted him some solid points. Minnie, you need to keep the wheels down. Old Wolfie goes up there and just sticks it. That's a pretty good one. That netted Standard Racing with Wolfgang a solid 7 points. And Minnie, she only got 4. Now we have Logan driving for Zonius and Farty Marty driving for Failure Squad. Well, they both have 2 pretty straight runs and can't do anything with it. Marty decides to just back down all the way down the hill. Logan flops that thing with an endo. The scared Marty thought, I'm out of here. That gives Logan 4 points, and Farty Marty manages to pull 6 points out of that. And now we've got Midnight Smiler and the Viking. Let's see if the Viking can keep the wheels down. Holder hasn't been doing very well with that. And Smiler knows his way to the top of the hills. Look at that. Smiler decides to play it conservative on going all the way up the hill and just decides to sneak a flip out in the middle of it. Holder actually stayed on his wheels. Nice flip, Smiler. So I had to review Smiler's run a dozen times. He actually doesn't get over the berm into the next section, so he gets his rollback even though he diagonaled all the way through the section. So that gives him a total of 3 bonus points for 7, and Holder gets 2 bonus points for a 6. Now we have the 2 from Oregon Outcast Diecast, Rage and Ricky. Both some very nice looking cars, and they were also mailed in. That's some pretty tough inter-team competition there. How's that work? Ricky's into Ricky. who puts Ricky upside down. They both get a little bit squirrely and get into each other, but they're just getting used to the hills, so have it down in no time. So that gives the chrome truck 7 points and the green Jeepster 5 points. Next up is Cletus driving for Porch Honky Racing and Duxie driving for Duxie's Quack Attack. The buggy chassis, like Duxie's driving, haven't been doing very well, but boy, those Dodge trucks have been powering up the hill nice. Well, Duxie decides to just start doing donuts in front of the crowd. That's not how you get points, Duxie. It's up the hill. Cletus was doing good till he got that back fender into that hill. He almost pulls off a flip. Almost. That's going to give Cletus 5, and sadly, Duxie only gets 2. Sorry, Duxie. You need to stop doing donuts. And on the hill next, we've got Shining Meteor, driven by Jay Raldis, and Retail Racing's Crazy Frank, who's actually been not too crazy here lately. Seems Crazy Frank is crazy about rubbing on the wall. Raldis seems to put the Cherokee up there higher than I think any of the other Cherokee runs have been so far. Just doesn't keep it on his wheels. Look at that Cherokee jump. That thing was up in the air good. Also looks like that's the little bump that Crazy Frank needed to send him back down the hill. Well, Jay Raldis has got 5, and Crazy Frank got 6 out of that. Next is the Jeepenstein, driven by Zuck, and the Turbo Team, driven by AG. Well, it looks like AG is going to flip it over, and then Zuck slides up there and saves him. Are they teamworking now somehow? They both need to get some points on the board, and this helped a bit. Oh, Zuck just working that suspension on the Jeep. Well, that gives Zuck 5 points and AG 6 points. Both of these guys needed to get some good points on the board, and that's going to help a lot. Next up, we've got Harry Hoon from Cut Rockers Racing and Brother Joe driving for Rusty Gold Men. That's a boxing kangaroo, and it has been having a blast on the mountain punching goats. Well, they both come out of the hole hard, but get all squirrely. Guess Harry was checking on the kangaroo. Looks to me like the kangaroo tried to jump onto the other truck. He's trying to ride them both up the hill, I guess. Up on stones in a river or something. That's going to give Harry Hoon 6 points and Brother Joe 5 points. And our last competitive heat for the evening, we've got Baby Cookie from the Junkyard Joust and the Mad Brit King. Be sure to go check out Junkyard Joust channel on YouTube. It's a great family fun. New episodes are usually dropped every Sunday night, and I think you'll really love it. Both Cookie and Mad Brit King need to get some points down too, since they're basically at the bottom of the heap right now. Well, I'm not sure who gets into who first, but they definitely grind the sides off their cars going up the hill. Looks like Mad Brit King came out the better for it, although maybe it was strategy by the Mad Brit King. Mad Brit King manages to get 5 points out of that, where Baby Cookie only gets 2. As I said before, I'm not so sure Baby Cookie's even serious about this. Last week he did donuts in front of the grandstand. So, after all that beating and banging everybody was doing, we've got Mayhem Michelle at 16, BB Chief at 16, that 9 helped him. Mr. Mice hot on his tail at 15, Clutch with the red buggy at 14, Cactus Jack at 13, Wolfgang, the surprise in the pack, also at 13, Drivers, Stallions, Clutch's other car, Mud Duck, round out the top 10. That was quite a shakeup. This is the reason why we're going to split the long season into 2 halves. It makes the racing against other people a little more interesting. So this is what I have right now for the idea of what the seasons will be. I want all cars to race all the races. So every car will race in all 10 races. We're going to split the seasons into a season A and a B. Mid-season madness sorts that all out, and those points go on hold. Then we start with no points at race 6 and go all the way up to race 9. At the finals, we add the points together. We see who won season A, we see who won season B, and those 9 cars all have guaranteed spots in the next season. I hope you like the idea of where I'm going with the format. I love the idea that every car that's here races. As you saw, Season B also allows late cars and early cars for the next season to also get to run and have a idea where they stand in the pack, even though they didn't run at the beginning of the races. Thanks for watching. Always go to redlinederby.com, sign up. That's where I'm going to post my races for sign up. So thank you all for watching. Have a good night.